Hey, friends. If you've been loving the conversations we have here on the All in My Head podcast, and you're looking for a way to ground your thoughts, reflect more deeply, or just make space for yourself in the chaos, I've created something for you. My very own journals are now available on Amazon. Whether it's the gratitude journal to help you focus on the good, especially on the hard days, or the Mind Unwind Journal, a space to release, reset, and realign. These were made with you in mind, my thoughtful, deep feeling, always reflecting listeners. Just head to Amazon and search Gratitude, Mind Unwind Journal, or my name, Jenny Jimenez-Sullivan, or check the link in the show notes to grab your copy. It's simple, intentional, and ready to meet you wherever you are. Listen to the All in My Head podcast on Spotify, Apple Music, and wherever you get your podcasts.
Please, allow me to show you something.
Welcome back to the All in My Head podcast. I'm Jenny and I am your host. And you have landed here today for episode 33. And it is called Bad Bunny, Monks on a Peace Walk, and a Dog Named Aloka. And today's episode is one of those kind of stay with me conversations because obviously at first glance it might not make any sense at all. What do Bad Bunny, a quiet peace walk, and a dog named Aloka have in common? It kind of sounds like the beginning of a joke, right? Like you walk into a bar and you see Bad Bunny, Monks on a Peace Walk, and a dog named Aloka. But seriously, it's not a joke. And I promise you, it's actually a story about presence and choosing peace over controversy, about unexpected connection, and it is about the small, invisible moments that end up shifting something inside us all. So, wherever you are, if you're driving, walking, folding laundry, or just sitting in a quiet moment, take a breath with me because this one unfolds slowly. So, again, what do all these things have in common? They created controversy, but at the same time, we got to see some collective unity happening. And I honestly try to protect my peace a lot when it comes to social media. And if I didn't have to promote my podcast and my writing in that way, I would certainly limit it more. But I logged on to social media and saw that this beautiful walk was unfolding before our very eyes. And that was on October 26th, 2025. Monks from Fort Worth, Texas began a 2,300 mile, 108-day journey through 10 states. They walked to promote peace and compassion and nonviolence. And if you know anything about monks that live in temples, when they leave for such a long peace journey, it is because the world is out of balance. And this journey is their way of launching healing prayer into motion. It's a spiritual offering, not a political statement. And it's designed to cultivate peace from within and spread it outward. And still in this country, that claims freedom of speech and expression, this peace walk created controversy and even outward forms of hatred. And for me, I looked forward to getting on social media during this time to follow along in the everyday peace walk and to join the mission in my own very small way, right? I wasn't on this peace walk, but I felt like I was with them. And to me, it was just a beautiful journey for one simple mission, which was peace, which we need so desperately right now and needed at that time and need even more now. But I would see that people were posting on the live feed of the monks or on the posts that were being posted daily some really horrible things, and it really threw me. And we know there's so much division right now in this country and in the world. But honestly, how is a peace walk controversial? It's a peace walk. It's in the name. So how are you against peace? But Christians and other religious groups, and I'm going to put those in quotes because it's not everyone and it's not all the Christians, but also I'm saying that in air quotes because true Christians wouldn't say things like these monks are demonic and that their walking was false peace. Or they wouldn't post messages saying that they were walking their way straight to hell. There were even posts about Aloka the peace dog, who was walking with and watching over the monks, saying similar things about a dog. But I also saw much more beauty and love and calls for peace and unity than I did see the controversial hate mongering. So we're going to talk about that later on in this episode. So let's move on to Bad Bunny and his Super Bowl performance this year. And I'm going to start with another controversial thing. I don't even like football. And I know that's super controversial in the United States, according to football lovers. But what is it nowadays anyway? But I'm a huge, first and foremost, baseball fan and then boxing. Those were the two things that I was raised on. And those were my dad's favorite. Number one, baseball. But what I always loved about the Super Bowl was that it wasn't something controversial, that it was something that brought us all together, right? Some wanted to watch the game, some were there for that sport, and some wanted to watch the halftime show and the commercials. That someone is me. But everyone wanted the snacks, the laughs, and the quality time together. That's what it was about, right? Spending time with people that you didn't get to see often or just as a family. So this year should have been no different, right? It's still the Super Bowl. It's still happening. We're still going to enjoy snacks and commercials. But what was different is we had a Puerto Rican, a Latino, and the first solo Latino artist to headline the Super Bowl ever. And what we saw even more publicly and in full view that like we have these past couple years is the racism rearing its ugly head. And there were horrible statements made about him and the Latino culture as a whole. People were calling his presence there un-American. And I'm a proud Latina, 100% Puerto Rican. And whether you like his music or not, he's an icon and he has done more for Puerto Rico, which, let me say, is a U.S. territory. It is part of the United States, not another country, as some high profile political people and people in political office like to state often. It is part of the United States. It is a United States territory. And for that alone, he gets my respect because he honors his culture and he takes care of his island that he loves. And so for me also, it was the energy of Bad Bunny. Again, whether you're a fan or not, you feel him. His music is loud, it's expressive, it's unapologetic. It moves people. And what I find so interesting is not just the music itself, but the permission it gives. It gives you the permission to feel fully, to take up space, to be seen. There's something about that energy. And if you know anything about Latinos, we are bold and we are vibrant. And it reminds us that we're allowed to exist out loud, that we don't have to shrink ourselves, that we don't have to make ourselves smaller, that we can be our big, bold, beautiful selves. And maybe that's not how we show up every day. I don't show up every day that way, but I do show up that way sometimes because that's me and that's part of me. But maybe some days it's quieter and it's more reflective. But even then, there's a part of you that wants to be expressed. And sometimes that expression doesn't come through words, it comes through movement, it comes through music, through moments where you stop thinking and you just feel it. His show was a celebration of our culture, the resilience, the perseverance, and the dreamer's mentality. The story of hope for all people of color to be seen and to be recognized for their contributions. And he showcased a culture that continues to be oppressed, but who never cease to rise up and to overcome. And the people who love La Isla and will always care for each other when everyone else turns their backs. It was about unity and beauty and love and, que orgullo, what pride. And again, that's what Bad Bunny represents for me. His show was this kind of emotional permission slip and an anthem for us all to remember that we are one. We are all part of the human race, but also to showcase our beauty in our culture and a beautiful island. Now let's shift from that kind of loud expression of pride to something quiet. There's one more layer to this story, and it's the part that stayed with me long after the moment had passed. The peace walk that I mentioned earlier. It was something much bigger than myself, right? And it was something much bigger than my family or my local community, even. A group of monks walking all the way from Texas to Washington, D.C., step by step, day after day. They did it not for attention, they did it not for speed, but they did it to collectively place their energy and their vibration of peace out to the world. And when I first heard about it, like I said, I couldn't stop thinking about what that actually means. Because we live in a world that celebrates urgency, which I've said many times before on my podcast, right? Faster is better, bigger is better, louder gets noticed. But this drew such huge and widespread worldwide attention. And it was the complete opposite of all of that. This is choosing slowness on purpose, choosing intention over immediacy, choosing presence over performance. And I think that that's what struck me the most. These monks weren't just walking across states, they were embodying something: patience, devotion, love, trusting in something that doesn't need to be rushed. And there's something almost radical about that, to move through the world at a pace that allows you to actually feel it. To walk not because you have somewhere quickly to be, but because the act of walking itself is the purpose. And I personally kept imagining their days. I say it quite often, I have a vivid imagination, but in this, it made me stop and slow down and reflect. I kept imagining the rhythm of their footsteps, the silence between them, the way that the landscape slowly changed when they're not speeding past. And I thought, when was the last time any of us allowed ourselves to move like that? Not just physically, but emotionally. When was the last time we gave ourselves permission to process something slowly, to heal slowly, to understand something without needing immediate clarity about it? That's what the monks represent to me. Not just peace as an idea, but peace as a practice, something you return to again and again with each step. And maybe we are not walking from Texas to DC. Maybe our lives don't allow for that type of physical journey, but we are walking through things every day. We're walking through conversations, through emotions, through seasons of change, and we have a choice in how we move through all of them. And then, maybe the best part of all, there was Aloka, Aloka the peace dog, the dog walking alongside the monks, not leading, not trying to get anywhere faster, just there, a quiet companion on a very intentional journey. And I kept thinking, Aloka doesn't know about Texas or DC. He doesn't know about the physical mission or the meaning. But I also felt like he knew the impact. You know, Aloka knows the ground beneath their paws, the energy of the people beside them, the feeling of the moment that they are in, the energy, the beauty. And maybe that's the point, because while the monks are embodying peace through devotion and through discipline, I mean, deep, deep discipline, Aloka was embodying peace through pure presence and protection. No overthinking, no questioning the path, no wondering how much further there is to go. Just step by step by step. And there's something so incredibly grounding about that. A reminder that peace isn't always something we have to work for. Sometimes it's just something we return to by simply being where we are fully. We can rush, we can push, we can try to get to the other side as quickly as possible. Or we can take a breath, we can soften our pace, we can let each step of our lives mean something, even if no one else sees it, especially if no one else sees it, even if it's quiet, especially if it's quiet. Because peace doesn't always arrive in a big life altering moment. Sometimes it looks like a long road, right? A steady pace, and the willingness to keep showing up one step at a time. Maybe it's the most powerful thing we can do, to walk a little slower and more intentionally. Right? Aloka wasn't trying to teach us anything. And yet there's a lesson there. Stay close, stay present, trust the path beneath you, and maybe, just maybe, that's the kind of peace we're all searching for. Because those small, ordinary moments, they're really not small at all. They're where life is actually happening. So today, I want to leave you with this. Where in your life are you being invited to feel more? We are all responsible for cultivating peace and unity, especially when others are trying to create chaos and controversy. We are all in this human experience together to do better, to be better, and to be good humans helping others in our world. So, where are you being invited to grow this consciousness? Maybe it is big and loud like Bad Bunny, or maybe it's small and quiet like the monks and Aloka the peace dog. But whatever way feels right to you and for you, that's the right way. We all have our unique offering to give this world, and it all matters in any and every form. So I think that's the takeaway. We can walk forward in this world in a big way, loud, or we can do it softly and slowly and in a much quieter way. And neither way is wrong. Both are going to make a huge impact. It's up to you how you choose to lay your hands on this earth and leave your mark of peace and unity, joy and love. It all matters. You matter. Thank you for being here with me today, for listening, for reflecting, for talking through these thoughts with me, and for taking this little journey inside your own heart. May it be exactly what you needed today, because I know it was for me. Thanks for listening to the All in My Head podcast. May you have the best and most beautiful day.